Dear viewers and all kinds of students, I would like to welcome you to my presentation today. And this presentation is exclusively made for honors second year students. And I have chosen a topic very much talked of issue of honors second year, that is advanced reading and writing. And at this presentation, I would like to talk about the form, style, and voice of that paper, which is really very a little bit complicated for the students to make it understandable. And that is why I have planned to talk about it in a very logical and concise way of understanding. Let's start our presentation. Uh, what is style actually? Every author has his or her own style. That is, each author uses literary devices, tone, and mood in a particular way that makes his or her writing recognizable. When you read several books by the same author, you become accustomed to the author's style of writing, and sometimes you look for authors with a similar style. So style in writing is very, unique way of understanding a writer. So from that point of view and perspective, you need to know what are the styles of writing. Let's. So what is author's style? Style is the way he or she uses words to make ideas more alive on the page. So author style have got some techniques. What are they? These are word choice, dialogue, tone, mood, and sensory language. So these are all the ingredients of author style. And in order to know a writing of a writer, you need to know these sort of things very well, because writing has a unique blending of ideas together. So in order to understand the style of a writer, you have to be very cautious about this sort of things. That is word choice, dialogues, tone, mood, and sensory language. So author style are related to word choice. We can say like this: an author can use formal or informal words. Let me give you one example. For example, Jason's friends dissed him. This is very informal, but the formal would be Jason's friends ignored him. So you can see the words have been chosen in such a way so that it can be formal and acceptable for formal type of writing. So the first one, informal writing, Jason's friends dissed him. This means ignored or avoid someone. But the second one is very perfect and very right and very formal. There is Jason's friends ignored. So let's now have a look at author style. There are basically two types of styles the author has to follow in writing his or her own arguments. They can be divided into two different sections, formal and informal. What is formal style? Formal style is actually, dear sir. Let's see, this is an example of formal writing, a formal letter actually. Dear sir, after examining your job description, I feel I'm an excellent candidate. I have many years of experience of performing these special duties. My resume is attached. Please read it over at your own convenience, and contact me if you have questions. Sincerely, Andrew Meyer. This is a very important writing part of formal writing. Now let's have a look at the informal type of writing. Hey Sarah, what's going on tonight? Call me before you guys leave, okay? Beth. So you can see these two are diametrically opposite type of writing. In the second one, informal, the writer has written things in a very informal and very colloquial way, and that is why it's called informal. But the formal one is very much relating to our formalities, and of course relating to our day-to-day activities, or very formal way of understanding to each other. Author's style, we can call it also tone. Tone is also another part of very important ingredient of understanding. What does tone tell you? Tone tells what writer's attitude towards the topic or author's attitude towards the subject. It's very important to note. Formal language creates a serious tone, and informal language creates a light-hearted tone. So these are two different things. Setting can help create tone. Sometimes the setting of a poem, novel, or drama can give you different type of tone. So tone is basically and overall the writer's attitude towards the topic, and this can be understood by the use of words the writer uses in his or her own language. There are some languages, maybe it's an example. Tarantulas lurk in hidden places in the desert. Beware of creepy crawlers in the desert. These types of writings may be written by writers, but your duty as a reader will have to find the tone in a very logical and coherent manner. Tone example is the example of a tone. This is a chunk of a writing. The girls were playing in the pond, splashing each other and trying to catch fish with their hands. They were having fun, but kept looking over their shoulders at the glooming forest. The long grass of the field kept moving, and the sort of felt like they were being buzzed. About a half hour passed until still the girls kept checking the fields of movements. It seemed like a pair of dark eyes was on them. They even considered going back inside, but that would mean homework time. So they continued splashing, but with caution now. Their eyes hardly left the fields. So the tone of this passage is ominous, that is suggesting a little bit of fear or foreboding or anxiety. So words like caution, dark, looming lead readers to. So I would like to suggest to you, dear students, when you read a passage or an extract of writing, read it very carefully so that from this writing you can grasp some word or vocabularies from which you can guess the tone of the writer. So in order to detect the tone of writing, your duty is to check the writing very well, and especially the figures of speech or the vocabularies that are presented by the writer. If you can catch them very well, it will be very easy to understand the tone of the. Another example, finally one of the girls pointed to the grass and giggled. Mew. A cat sat on the edge of the field and licked its paw. They did indeed have company. The girls ran over to the cat and pet his belly. They laughed and the cat sauntered contentedly back to the field. It's a small portion of a passage. So the tone would be, the tone of the passage is happy contentment, as there was a successful, happy resolution to the problem. Also words like giggled and laughed give us clues about the tone. So as I said you earlier, that if you look very closely at the writing, you can see the writer has chosen some unique words or unique choice of words or dictions from which you can catch the tone very easily. So I would like to repeat again, tone is writer's attitude towards the topic. What type of attitude the writer is going to have in order to write his writing? That is the thing that you need to consider. That is actually we need to think about that you are looking for, which is very much related to your syllabus and exam. This is a chart of form, style, and voice. From this chart, you can see what type of form will have what type of voice and style. Let's see the first example. For example, narrative type of writing. The style is formal, voice is subjective, and the purpose is to describe or inform, and the audience is general readers. So this is actually presented in one row for your better understanding. Next, listing paragraph or essay. So if the form is listing paragraph or essay, the style would be informal, voice would be subjective, and the purpose would be to describe or to inform or to make awareness. And the audience are special people, general readers. Almost same, narrative and listing. Now the third one, letter, story, or autobiography is very important. It's slightly different than other two. Style is informal, voice is subjective, and the purpose is different, entertain the readers, and the audience would be friends and family members, dear and near ones. These are really very important for you to understand. Number 4 is cause and effect paragraph. For this type of writing, formal style is very much suitable. Of course, the voice would be objective, and the purpose is to describe or to inform, raising public awareness, and the audiences are common readers. Next one is argumentative paragraph or survey report. For this type of writing, formal style is used, and if anything is formal, automatically the voice would be objective. There is no doubt about that. And the purpose is inform, to instruct, and to convince the reader. And of course, the audience are general and common readers. Now, the next one, second last, research paper and article. What type of writing? If it is research paper, article, editorial, or assignment, then of course the style is formal, voice would be objective, and the purpose is to expose or to persuade the reader about a problem or about a topic. And the audiences are also very different. Scholarly audience, especially the audiences, academicians, this type of writings are used. Now the last one, descriptive or definitional paragraph. For this type of writing, style is formal, voice is objective, of course, and the purpose is to define or to generalize, and the audience is general reader. So dear students, I would like to inform you again and again that this is a very important chart for you to understand, because if you know what type of writing you are going to find or detect, then you can find out the style, and at the same time consequently the voice and purpose and audience should be detected. So it's a very important chart for you. Of writing, like now how to write paragraphs using form, style and voice. For example, in your examination, if the topic is a good friend, you have to write like this. The given topic, a good friend, could be written in the form of listing paragraph or essay mentioning the good qualities and importance of a trustworthy friend. Therefore, the composition has to be written in the informal style, having a subjective voice. So you can see a good friend, if it's the topic, so the style would be informal, and of course the subject would be voice would be subjective, and of course it should be written in the listing paragraph. Or if you do not know what type of paragraph, at least you can write it. It can be written in the form of a paragraph or essay. No problem will there be. Paragraphs now. Digitized Bangladesh. The given title Digitized Bangladesh should be written in the form of an expository essay or paragraph. And this type of writing would expose adequate ideas, descriptions, problems, and prospects of digitalization in Bangladesh. Consequently, the style of writing will have to be formal with objective voice. And the last one now, Wordsworth as a romantic poet. This chosen topic, the chosen topic, Wordsworth as a romantic poet, is a highly specialist one, and therefore the writing has to be in the form of a research paper or journal article. The composition could be written in formal and mean style with heaps of academic aspects following objective voice. So you can see, dear students, I have given you the example of 3 different paragraphs for your better understanding of form, style, and voice. You can see 3 different paragraphs of 3 different forms, and of course, since there are 3 different forms, style and voice have also been changed, and that is your duty to fix. In the exam, you have to fix the form first. Once you fix the form, you can automatically fix the voice and style of the writing, but that should be aligned with the chronology of the chart that I have already shown you before. That's all from me today. Hope you have got very important idea from my presentation today. I would like to thank you for watching this, but I would like to suggest you to practice a lot of those paragraphs at your own style, at your own way. Because if you practice more, you will be able to know the form, style, and voice better than anything else. So my dear students, my YouTube channel ID has been given, Mazhar Haq. If you tune in my YouTube, you can get a lot of my lectures available. Of course, also my blog ID is also given, hawkeye.blogspot.com. You can visit my blog ID for also for more information about that. And thank you. And it's all